Hello everyone, this is Sunny Seth, Assistant Professor Mathematics. In this video, I'll demonstrate how to find the optimal solution of a transportation problem by using modified distribution method or UV method. Let us consider this example. This is the same example on which I have discussed in the previous videos how to find out the initial basic feasible solution by three different methods: northwest corner rule method, least cost method, and Vogel's approximation method. And we have seen that Vogel's approximation method gives us the least cost at the initial stage itself. So in order to solve this particular transportation problem for minimum cost, we should first find its initial BFS by Vogel's approximation method. Now, as in the previous video, we have already found its initial BFS by Vogel's approximation method. So following is the initial BFS of this transportation problem by VAM method. Now we shall apply optimality test on this initial BFS as follows. First of all, what is optimality test? After getting the initial BFS of a transportation problem, we test the initial BFS for optimality. That is, we check whether the feasible solution obtained minimizes the total transportation cost or not. The method we are applying here is modified distribution method or UV method. The computational procedure for optimality test in MODI method is that we first determine the set of m plus n numbers, UIs and VJs, one UI for each row and one VJ for each column, such that for every occupied cell, its cost Cij is equal to UI plus VJ. Now, as we know that the number of allotted cells in the initial BFS is m plus n minus 1. So in order to find m plus n numbers, we need to initialize one of the UI or VJ equal to 0, and then remaining m plus n minus 1 numbers can be easily solved by the relation Cij equals to UI plus VJ for the occupied cells. Generally, we choose that UI or VJ to be equal to 0 for which the corresponding row or column has maximum number of allotments. Once we find all UIs and VJs, then we find the cell evaluation Dij for the non-occupied cells by the formula Dij equals to Cij minus UI plus VJ. And if all Dij's turn out to be greater than equal to 0, we say that the optimal solution is reached, else we proceed further with more steps. So we will now be applying the optimality test on the initial BFS obtained by VAM method. Here, instead of the supply column and demand row, I have used the U column and V row, where we'll be writing the UIs for each of the rows and VJs for each of the columns. Now we'll be setting U1 as 0 here because this first row is having 2 allotted cells and no other row or column is having number of allotted cells more than 2. So once we set U1 as 0, we'll consider the first occupied cell, that is S1D1 with cost 2. For this cell, its U1 is 0 and its V1 is not known, and we know that the cost should be equal to UI plus VJ. So what should be added in 0 to get the cost 2? Obviously 2. So our V1 should be 2 here. Now we'll be looking at the second cell S1D2 with cost 7. For this cell again the U1 is 0 and V2 is not known. So what should we add in 0 to get the cost 7? So 0 plus 7 is 7. Therefore V2 is 7. Now let us look at S4D1 cell of the fourth row, which is an occupied cell with cost 1. For this cell we have V1 as 2 and its U4 is not known. So what should we add in 2 to get the resulting sum as 1? As 2 minus 1 is 1, therefore U4 should be minus 1. Now if we consider S4D3 cell with cost 2, we can see that its U4 is minus 1 and its V3 is not known. So minus 1 plus 3 will make it 2, therefore V3 should be 3. Now if I look at S2D3 cell with cost 1, we know its V3 is 3 and its u2 is not known. So what can be added in 3 to get 1 minus 2? Therefore u2 is minus 2. Now we are only left out with one value u3. Now looking at the occupied cell in the third row, second column with cost 4, its v2 is 7 and its u3 is not known. So 7 minus 3 is 4, therefore u3 is minus 3. So with this we have found all the ui's and vj's. Now we'll be moving further to find out the cell evaluation dij for each cell. Dij is found as Dij equals to Cij minus Ui plus Vj for the non-occupied cells. In the first row, the non-occupied cell is S1D3 cell with cost 4. We'll be adding its U and V first. U1 plus V3 is 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. So its Dij is 1. We'll write this 1 in the same cell in bold. Now the next unoccupied cell is S2D1 with cost 3. Its U is U2 minus 2 and its V is V1 2. Minus 2 and 2 if we'll add we'll get 0. So 3 minus 0 is 3. Now the next unoccupied cell S2D2 cost 3. Its U plus V is minus 2 plus 7, that is 5. 3 minus 5 is minus 2. Now the next unoccupied cell S3D1 with cost 5. Its U plus V is minus 3 plus 2 minus 1. 5 minus of minus 1 will make it 6. So its Dij is 6. Now the next unoccupied cell S3D3 7. U3 plus V3 minus 3 3 0. So 7 minus 0 is 7. 7 is its Dij. Now the last unoccupied cell S4D2 cell with cost 6, adding its U and V, minus 1 plus 7 6. 6 minus 6 will make it 0. Now we can see that all Dij's are not greater than equal to 0, as one Dij of cell S2D2 is minus 2, which is negative. So optimal solution not reached. So we shall apply further steps. Now in step 4, starting from the most negative Dij and moving from allotted to allotted cell, we make a closed loop. Following are the possibilities for the closed loop. Either we can get a closed loop in the form of a rectangle or a square as in figure A, or we could get it as in the figure B, or in the most complicated case we could get a closed loop as in the figure C. The loop will always start from the most negative Dij and will move from allotted to allotted cell using horizontal lines or vertical lines only, and then it will finally finish at the same most negative Dij cell from where we started the loop. So for our problem, the initial BFS, where we have calculated all ui's, vj's and dij's, we can see that we only have one cell with negative Dij, that is S2D2 cell with Dij minus 2. So we will start our loop from this point, and the next point should be an allotted cell. So starting from this point, we can move to S2D3 allotted cell. Now we can move downwards to S4D3 allotted cell at cost 2. Then we can move towards left to S4D1 allotted cell with cost 1. Then we can move upwards to S1D1 allotted cell with cost 2. Then towards right S1D2 cell with cost 7. And then back to the same cell with negative Dij. That is how we have created the closed loop. Now at the starting point of the loop with the most negative Dij, we assign a plus sign, and along the loop we keep assigning alternate minus plus minus signs. So plus sign at the starting point of the loop with negative Dij, then minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. Now in the step 6, we look at the minimum allotment of the minus cells. So here we have 3 cells with minus sign. The allotment at the first cell with minus sign S2D3 is 8. The allotment at the second cell with minus sign S4D1 is 4. And the allotment at the third cell with minus sign S1D2, the allotment is 2. So minimum allotment of minus cells is 2 here. This is subtracted from the allotment of all minus cells. So the first minus cell S1D2 with allotment 2, we subtract 2 from it. So it will become an empty cell now. There will be no allotment in this cell. The second allotment with minus cell is 8 at S2D3. We'll subtract 2 from it. So we'll be left out with 6 allotment at this cell. Now in the third minus cell, the allotment is 4, S4D1 cell. From here also we'll subtract 2. So the remaining allotment here will be 2. Now the same minimum allotment 2 we add to all the cells with plus signs. The first cell with plus sign is S2D2 cell, which was earlier an unoccupied cell. That means there was 0 allotment here. So in the 0 allotment we'll be adding 2 here. So this cell will now have allotment 2. The next cell with plus sign is S4D3 cell with allotment 10. To this 10 will add 2 and it will become 12. Now the next cell with plus sign is having allotment 3, S1D1 cell. To this cell again will add 2 and the allotment will become 5. Now the remaining cells which are not in the loop and are occupied, we leave them as it is with their allotment. And this is how we get an improved solution. So we rewrite this improved solution in a proper way as in the next table. Now this improved solution, we again need to check for optimality, whether this improved solution gives us an optimal solution or we still need to improve it further. So again, to check optimality for this particular solution, we'll have to initialize one of the UIs or VJs to be 0. So this time, as the second row is having 2 allotments and no other row or column is having number of allotments more than 2, so we can initialize U2 as 0 this time. So then we can look at S2D2 allotted cell with cost 3. Its U2 is 0. So what will be its V2? 0 plus 3 will make it 3. Therefore its V2 should be 3. Now similarly for the S2D3 cell with allotment 1 with cost 1, 0 plus 1 will make it 1. So V3 should be 1. Now next time what we'll look at is S4D3 allotted cell with cost 2. For this cell its V3 is 1 and its U4 is not known. As 1 plus 1 is 2, so U4 will be 1. So here I have basically done it for the other cell. V2 is 3 for the allotted cell S3D2 with cost 4. So 3 plus 1 will make it 4. So U3 is 1. Now for U4, 1 plus 1 will make it 2. So U4 will be 1. Now we'll be finding out for S4D1's allotted cell cost 1, U4 is 1. What should we add in 1 to get the cost 1? 0. So V1 will be 0 this time. Now we'll be left out with the last value U1. For this first row, the allotted cell is S1D1 first cell with cost 2. Its V1 is 0. So 0 plus 2 is 2. Therefore U1 is 2. Now we have found all the UIs and VJs. Now we'll be finding out the cell evaluation DIJs for unoccupied cells. So for the first unoccupied cell S1D2 with cost 7, adding its U and V, 2 plus 3, 5, subtracting it from 7, we will get 2. Next unoccupied cell S1D3, cost is 4, adding its U1 plus V3, 2 plus 1, 3 and subtracting it from 4, 4 minus 3 is 1. Now next unoccupied cell S2D1 with cost 3, adding its U and V, 0 plus 0, 0, 3 minus 0 is 3. Now S3 D1 unallotted cell with cost 5, its U3 is 1 and its V1 is 0. So 1 plus 0 is 1, 5 minus 1 is 4. Now S3 D3 cost 7, U3 is 1, V3 is 1, U plus V is 1 plus 1, 2, 7 minus 2 is 5. Now S4 D2 cell cost 6, U4 is 1, V2 is 3, 3 plus 1 4, 6 minus 4 is 2. Here we can see that we got all Dij's greater than equal to 0. So optimal solution reached. So as optimal solution is reached, we can now write our optimal solution. So this is how we write the optimal solution of the transportation problem, by showing the allotments in the allotted cell along with their corresponding costs. The total minimum transportation cost is given by multiplying the allotments with their corresponding costs and then adding the resulting products. So in this example, the total minimum transportation cost is 5 into 2 plus 2 into 3 plus 6 into 1 plus 7 into 4 plus 2 into 1 plus 12 into 2, that is 76. So I hope you all must have understood how to find out the optimal solution of a transportation problem by modified distribution method. Thank you for watching the video. Do subscribe this channel and like the video, and you can share this video as much as possible. And in case of any doubt, do ask your query in the comment section. Thank you.